What's going on, Slay Baes? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another one of my full face using only videos, which I know you guys love. And the brand that I'm going to be testing out in today's video and doing a full face with is a brand that has been requested over and over and over again in the comments, which is LA Girl Cosmetics. So I'm going to spill the tea, give you guys all the deets. Y'all already know how we do it here on this channel. I do have a little tray right here overflowing with LA Girl products. I picked all of my LA Girl products up at Ulta Beauty. They have like a full on display. Speaking of Ulta, thank you guys so much for all the love you guys showed me in my last video, which was my Ulta Shop With Me video in partnership with DHC. Honestly, I was very nervous about uploading that video because anytime I switch content, I'm not entirely sure how you guys are going to react, but a lot of you guys want me to actually do a series, like go to a bunch of different stores. So I'm excited to kind of implement that onto my channel. And with that, I'm rambling. If you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and click that bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload, which is every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now that I have you guys super up close and personal, we can jump right into it. Now, the first thing I'm gonna do is do my brows because I rarely ever do my brows on camera whenever I'm doing like a full face of first impressions. So I definitely wanted to make sure I picked up brow products and showed you guys how they performed on my channel. So I have 2 different products. I have the LA Girl Brow Pomade, which says it is a smudge-proof, water-resistant, long-lasting gel formula. I picked the shade up dark brown, and then I also picked up the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso. So the overall component of this pencil is no different than a lot of the brow products we've already seen on the market. It has a product on one side and then it has a spoolie on the other. I do have mine in the shade Espresso. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spoolie, brush through my brows, and I like to just brush them upwards, and then I'll take the actual brow pencil and I'll start by just creating a line directly underneath my brow just to kind of carve it out and give it a little bit of shape. Okay, so I will definitely say that that brow product went on a little bit waxy, but not too waxy. I'm gonna take the spoolie and I'm just gonna lighten up that line I created just to see how it blends, and it's blending very nice. I will say that the brow product comes off a little bit on the warm side. I typically don't like to use a brow product that's too warm, and I also don't like to use one that's too cool. I like more of a neutral brow product, but this one definitely is pulling very warm, which I'm not too keen on. So just wanted to throw that out there, but nonetheless, it still is doing a really good job with filling in my brows. Like the performance though, I actually kind of do like the formula of this. It's waxy, but it's not too waxy. Like, I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna use a little bit of the pomade towards the very tail of the brow, and again, I did pick this up in dark brown. It doesn't come with a brow brush, which is very surprising because the packaging is very big. So I would think that it would come with a brow brush, but it actually doesn't. So I'm just gonna reach over here and find one. I'm gonna use the ABH 7B brow brush. It has a spoolie on one end and then an angled brush on the other. And I'm just going to use the pomade to fill in the tail of my brow. And I mean, I guess you can say I'm going for bold ass brows today because, honey, this is intense. Ooh, I actually do like the color of the pomade a lot better than the brow pencil. Okay, I definitely like the pomade a lot better than the brow product, like by a long shot. I really just love the color. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. It's a really pretty neutral brown. Like, what do you guys think? Now that that's done, I'm gonna use a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna use the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer to clean up directly underneath my brows. And what I love most about this concealer in general is that it does come with a brush applicator, so you can kind of just brush this on directly underneath the brow. I do have mine in the shade Buff, which may be a little bit too light, but I'll make it work. So I did put a little bit of that concealer underneath my brow, as you can see, and then I'm taking a brush to really just carve everything out. And the brush I'm using is an ABH number 14, number 18. It actually rubbed off, so I have no idea, but I'm just using a thin concealer brush to really carve them out. And then with a big fluffy brush, I'm just gonna buff and blend that concealer out all over the lid, so that way I don't have any harsh lines and the concealer doesn't dry down in a weird way. Woo, my brows. I got some bold ass brows, but it is okay, a-okay. I'm now gonna go ahead and move on to priming my eyelids. I did pick up this from LA Girl. This is the Pro Primer High Definition Eyeshadow Primer in the shade Nude. Now, I did pick up the nude one because I saw that they had like a really stark white one that was really comparable to the NYX Jumbo White Eye Pencil, but sometimes I feel like stark white eyeshadow bases can be extremely hard to work with, especially if you blend them all the way up underneath your brow bone. So I will just be using this to prime my eyelids, and I like that it's a really neutral nude shade. Ooh, this is very creamy, but not too creamy, if you guys get my drift. Like, it's going on very nicely and it's not tugging at my eyelids or anything like that. I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush to blend it out and make sure it's nice and even before eyeshadow. By the way, if you guys are watching at home, let me know if you guys have tried any of the LA Girl products I'm testing out in today's video, and let me know how you like them. If there is a product that I don't show in the video, let me know which one is your favorite down below, because I'd love to check them out. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to use in today's video is this one right here. This is the Wonder and Lust eyeshadow palette. Now, one of the main reasons I picked this up is because it's completely different than a lot of the palettes I usually pick up. It has a mixture between cool tones and also warm tones. I love the pop of teal, so I'm definitely going to be playing around with that in today's video. But first, I am going to use a translucent powder in my crease. Not so much a translucent powder, but I'm just going to use my face powder. This is by LA Girl. This is the Pro Face High Definition Press Powder. I'm going to take it on an M441 and just dust a light layer of this in my crease. I'm going to first start off by picking up this coral shade on an M507 and rocking it right here in the very kind of like inner crease area, and I'm just taking a small precision kind of like blending brush and just really getting this color right here in the socket. Now we're doing something a little bit different today. You guys always say I gravitate towards the same looks. I definitely wanted to just try something out and do something a little bit different than what I normally do on my channel, so hopefully you guys don't mind. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that concealer and cut my crease, but I'm not going to do like a full cut crease. I'm going to do more of a half cut crease. The next shade I'm going to pick up from the palette is that really beautiful kind of like Tiffany blue eyeshadow, and I'm going to take that on a flat brush and pack it directly on my lid, exactly where I cut my crease. Going on at first, like one layer, it was a little bit sheer, so I went in with a little bit more product, and it's building up very nice, like very nice. I will definitely say that this color is really beautiful, you guys, like so stunning. And I'm not really getting any fallout. I build that color up very nicely in packing motion, just by like packing that color directly over top of where I cut my crease. So I'm definitely doing my eye makeup a little bit different than I normally would. Normally I start off like my outer V area. I'm kind of working from like the inner corner out. I'm just trying like a different technique, but don't get too wrapped up on it. Definitely do your eye makeup however it is that you guys do it at home. You definitely don't have to follow my steps, but this is just kind of what I'm doing, what I'm vibing with. So I'm now going to go in with I'm now going to take this color right here in my crease. This is kind of like a sienna, kind of like a brick shade. I'm going to use an M507 to do this step because I'm going to put it in my crease area first, and I'm going to slightly buff and blend it upwards. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of that deep shade, and I'm just going to pat it right here towards the very outer V area. I initially thought I wanted to do like navy, but I think that this is going to look super pretty. Then with a fluffy M433, I'm just gonna lightly buff and diffuse out these edges. So this color right here definitely isn't blending too well into the teal, so I'm just gonna take an even darker kind of like brick shade on an M441, and I'm just gonna pack it right here towards the outer V and gently flick it inwards to blend a little bit better with the teal. And then with an M441, I'm just gonna go in small circular motions to really blend out any harsh edges. Because girl, we don't like harsh edges. No, 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 no. You like my little musical there? No? All right. So enough of eyeshadow for a little bit. I want to use their gel eyeliner. When I saw this, it looked very, very promising. This is the LA Girl Gel Eyeliner Smudge Proof Water Resistant Intense Color Gel Formula. I can stop saying LA Girl now. I'm pretty sure by now we all know that I'm doing a full face using LA Girl Cosmetics. Can't really help it. By the way, when you open these boxes, you may want to open them from the bottom, because when you open the top, like, there's like a big old like piece of cardboard that's like blocking you from getting the product. By the way, this does come in 5 different colors, and the shade I picked up is Jet Black. I'm just gonna apply this how I normally would. I'm gonna use my MAC 210 and create a cat eye wing. I'm gonna try not to make it too intense though. I'm gonna try. So I will definitely say that this isn't my favorite gel eyeliner of all time, simply because it is like a little bit dry. So it was really, really hard for me to kind of pull my gel eyeliner in to create a wing. It was just way too dry, and it kept tugging at my eyelid as opposed to just gliding right on. Like, to me, a gel eyeliner is supposed to be fluid enough to dry across your eye, but not too fluid to the point where it's gonna get everywhere, if you know what I mean. So definitely not a huge fan of this, but it's completely okay. Since my wings are not really on the same page, this one's just kind of like, and this one's like a little rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to kind of dab it directly over top of the wing, also right here towards this very outer part. Now don't worry if you get shadow all alongside here, we will clean that up with a makeup wipe, but this is just a trick I like to do in the event that my wing eyeliner just starts to go south. Once you have that liner nice and smoked out, you want to just go in with your makeup wipe and clean up all the fallout right here on the very outer corner. So this right here is my liner smoked out, and then this is my liner just regular. This side definitely is a little bit more polished, a little bit more cleaner, whereas this one's just a little bit more like whoosh. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys out just so that way I can pop on falsies and then start working on the rest of the face. I'm going to use these falsies. These are by Blinking Beauty. These are in the style Samantha. You guys, these are my all-time favorite falsies. You guys see how fluttery and just kind of like flared out they are towards the very ends. They're gonna look insanely beautiful paired with like my smoky wing. So I'm gonna pop these on, and then we'll start working on the rest of the face. Okay guys, so I am back. I went ahead and popped on my falsies, even though they're kind of like non-existent with like my really like thick ass black smoked out liner, but we're not even going to talk about it. What we are going to talk about is my post notification shout out of the day, and I want to give a huge shout out to Marissa Turner. She says, any time spent with Bae is a time well spent. Love you, girl. I love you too, Marissa. Hashtag SlayBaes, hashtag post notification, hashtag always. Thank you so much for clicking that bell and being part of the post notification squad. If you guys out there want to be the post notification shout out next week, all you have to do is click that bell and leave me a comment down below with the hashtag SlayBaes. With that, it's time to cover up my face. Like, I look like a big ass tomato, like I have blemishes everywhere. It's just a hot mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the skin with an LA Girl primer. This right here is the HD Moisture Nourishing Face Primer. I saw this because immediately I was like, moisture, yes, give it to me. My skin's been really dry because I've been on a new acne medication, so I need all the hydration I can get. So the formula of this product is a very medium consistency. It's definitely more so white, and it's not thick, but it's also not too thin either. I'm just gonna put this all over to help with the overall longevity of my foundation. Just work it in there, and here in like 2.5 seconds, you guys are gonna be able to see all of my blemishes, all of my scars, because I do try to conceal them in the beginning of the video just because I'm doing my intro and I don't want to scare you guys away. So to cover up this hot ass mess, I will be using the LA Girl Pro Matte HD High Definition Long Wearing Foundation, and I am using the shade Medium Beige. I have a full review on this video, but be prepared if you guys watch that video, like, you'll probably be a little bit scared because it's a pretty old video, and I watched it and I was like, wow, like, I look crazy. So again, if you watch that video, definitely be prepared. I'm going to use a Real Techniques Miracle Sponge to really pounce the foundation onto the skin and cover up all of these blemishes. Do you guys see this? Like, this is heaven to me, especially like if you struggle with acne, like a good full coverage foundation will definitely bring your confidence back. I know I'm feeling hella confident right now. Like, you can't tell me nothing. I just went ahead and tossed my hair up because, girl, it was getting all in my face. And if you guys hear Stormy in the back, this is real life, people. Like, sometimes my dogs act crazy and sometimes you hear them in the background. And I apologize. This foundation is full on coverage, and I want to say it retails for like $8. Super inexpensive and very, very good quality. I love this foundation, and I can't believe I stopped using it. What I'm going to do now is color correct with the LA Girl HD Concealer. This is actually their pink color corrector, and I'm just going to use a little bit of this. This actually is a little bit lighter of a pink concealer, but I normally like to use like a salmon colored concealer underneath my eyes to cancel out the blues. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And the brush I'm gonna use to kind of just buff and blend it underneath the eyes is just kind of like a fluffy brush. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. I'm just really working this color corrector underneath the eyes. And I will say, I really just don't love it. Like, I don't. It looks white. And then directly over top, I'm going to take another concealer, which is just a regular concealer in the shade Buff, and I'm going to use this to conceal underneath my eyes. Now, I used to really, really love this concealer. Not entirely sure how I'm going to feel about it now. This is like light, like super, super light. Wow, the coverage on this is beautiful. So the concealer, it's okay, nothing like too crazy. It's definitely not like I remember. Maybe it's just the shade I got. I definitely just feel like it looks like not its best down there. Like, I would much rather use my Flower Beauty Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, if we're being completely honest. Like, that's one of my favorite drugstore concealers, hands down. I do have a powder from LA Girl. This is the banana powder, the yellow one. Now, typically whenever I use banana powders, I find them to just be too dark. I'm hoping that that isn't the case today, so I'm gonna dip my sponge into the powder and then just set directly underneath the eyes. Okay, that's pretty. This definitely isn't like a dark yellow banana powder. You guys know what I mean. Like, sometimes banana powders can just be excessively dark, especially like on my skin tone, but I don't find that to be the case with this powder. I will be using the Pro Face Powder on the rest of my face. Now, you guys have seen me use this in the past. This is actually one of my favorite powders from the drugstore. It's really, really good, in addition to the one from Milani, but these two are just like top 5. So I actually didn't find any bronzers from LA Girl in Ulta, so I'm going to use this by Morphe. This is the Glamour Bronze Face and Body Bronzer in the shade Icon. You guys saw me do a full-on review using this like a few videos back, so if you guys haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. It is a really, really beautiful kind of like subtle shade that you guys are definitely going to want to look into. I'm going to take some of that LA Girl powder and just put it right underneath my bronzer to clean it up. Y'all know the whole baking situation. Gotta look hella crazy. So I'm gonna let this bake here for a little bit while I do my blush and highlighter. So I'm gonna use this palette. This is the Island Hottie blush palette. And when I saw this in store, I knew immediately that I had to pick it up. It's filled with a bunch of beautiful coral shades. And if this reminds me of anything, it reminds me of the ABH like blush trio that I love, love, love so much. I'll definitely have to do more so of like a comparison, but I'm gonna use the coral shades right here, and then I'm gonna pop this onto my cheeks. Ooh, that has really, really, really nice pigment to it. Thank you, LA Girl. Thank you. So for highlight, I'm going to use the Moonlight Magic highlighting palette. What's great about palettes like these is that they do come with a variety of different shades. So we have a light shade, like kind of like light champagne, a golden shade. This one's more of like a rose gold, and then we have a bronze right over here. So I'm going to use the champagne because I feel like that's just what goes well with my skin tone. And I'm going to pop it on to the cheeks, and that is really, really pretty. LA Girl did not come to play. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys in just so that way we could finish off the lower lash line. I'm going to take that Brick Sienna shade on a flat definer brush. This is an ABH A1, and I'm going to press it right here closest to my lower lash line. Then with an M507, I'm just gonna really buff and diffuse out this shadow. If I need to pick up a little bit more, I will, because I want this to be a very, very smoky And I'm going to take it directly underneath the wing just a little bit, just so that way it looks like everything connects. I definitely want to pinch the shape of my eye, so I'm going to take some of that black eyeshadow and I'm just going to pop it right here, closest to the very outer V of my eye to connect it with the liner. I also picked up some of their Shockwave eyeliners, and the mint one really stood out to me, which is why I really wanted to pick up that eyeshadow palette, because I felt like it would look insanely beautiful paired with this look. And when you guys take a peek at that liner, it's so vibrant. I'm going to take this and just pop this right into my waterline. This is so pigmented, so vibrant. Like, these are going to be perfect for like all of the colorful looks I have planned for like the spring and summer. So if you guys want to check these out, I definitely recommend if you guys are looking for something a little bit more fun, poppy, and vibrant. So I really need you guys to ignore the fact that I have black eyeshadow right here. I try to like brush it off with my brush and it didn't work out. So it's gonna stay dark because I'm not gonna take my entire face off for like this little tiny mark that I can easily remove in Facetune for my Instagram pic. The last and final shade I'm going to pick up from the palette is this really beautiful light blue shade, and I'm going to pop it in my very inner corner. Keep in mind, you guys, the shadow went on completely dry. Like, that is amazing. So last but not least, we're gonna work on the lips. So I picked up a lip liner. This is the Perfect Precision lip liner. I wanna say that this was maybe like $3 tops. I picked mine up in the shade Cafe, and I'm gonna use this to line my lips completely. So the lip liner, it's really creamy, but it's not too creamy. I don't know if you guys could tell, but as I was putting it on, it kind of like balled up a little bit, which I wasn't a fan of, but nonetheless, the color is really pretty. I use the shade called Cafe. It does look a little bit lighter than it does right here on the end, so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but I'm now gonna go in with this. This is the Lipify Stylo. It says one swipe, intense creamy color. Oh, it's one of these. I wasn't expecting that. Definitely wasn't expecting that. I feel like I should have gotten a darker lip liner. And I mean, just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go in with one of their holographic lip toppers directly over top. And to seal the deal, you guys, I will be using the LA Girl Pro Setting High Definition Setting Spray. Yes! And just like that, Slay Baes, this is the final and completed look. Now, I know what you're thinking. My lip, it looks a little bit different than my lip color in my last clip, and that is because I did switch it out with the NYX Line and Load 2-in-1 Lippy. This one is in the shade Never Listen. You guys, these are my all-time favorite, and I decided to pop this on because I feel like it really just complemented the look, and it went really well with the eyes, in my personal opinion. I'll have this link down below in case any of you guys are interested in checking it out. But all in all, I really just wanted to talk about some of the products that I was really loving within this video. Like, there are a lot of products that I actually ended up really liking, and that I feel like in turn will go into my everyday makeup routine, which is a big deal for me. So first and foremost, I just want to talk about the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. I haven't used this in a really long time, and I'm so glad that I revisited this foundation because it is extremely full coverage. If you guys struggle with acne or acne scarring like myself, I definitely feel like you guys should give this a whirl. I want to say it retails for about $8 or at least under $10. So check it out if you guys haven't already. I do wear the shade medium beige in this particular foundation. Moving on, I do want to talk about some of their palettes. So the first one is the Moonlight Magic Highlighting Palette. Oh my gosh, like, this is so incredibly beautiful. As you can see, I have that champagne shade right on my cheekbone, and it's glowing, it's beaming, it's radiating through the screen. It looks insanely gorgeous. The only downside I will say to this palette is that it comes with 4 different shades. So if you are using it for yourself, I kind of feel like these other 3 shades here are a little bit wasteful unless you use them as eyeshadows or something like that. I would really want LA Girl to make a highlight this color right here, just so that way I could buy the full-size version and then just pop it on whenever I want. You know what I mean, jelly beans? So I also have the Island Hottie palette, which I really, really loved. You guys know how I feel about coral blushes. Like, I'm obsessed with them. And if they're pigmented, blendable, and they go on like butter, I'm all about it. And these shades did just that. They gave my cheeks a really beautiful wash of color. And I definitely recommend this. You can kind of just swipe your brush through all four to get a really, really nice shade. Now for the eyeshadow palette, I will say that this isn't an everyday palette for me. Granted, the mint shade within this palette was a staple color for this look. It went on so beautifully. It's extremely pigmented, buttery, and creamy. You do have to layer on the shadow though. The only shade I will say that is a little bit lackluster or lacks a little bit of pigment is the navy blue within the palette. My original thought was to use this within the look, but things started to go south and I was like, nah, can't do it. But this is definitely a great palette and I really love the formula of these particular eyeshadows. Lastly, I just want to touch on the brow pomade. Like I said in the intro, it's not too cool, it's not too warm, it's also not too creamy, but it gives you enough playtime to actually go in and blend it out, and I am all about that. Again, I did pick up the shade dark brown. And I think that's all I wanted to cover at the very end of the video. Again, make sure you guys check out the description because I will have asterisks next to each and every single product that I know, love, and would recommend a million times over. With that, I've been rambling, so I'm gonna go. I love you, and I will talk to you guys all very, very soon. Deuces.